Senate Democrats are looking into Mike Pence's stay in a part of Ireland that was very far away from where he was supposed to be for the anniversary commemorating World War II. Now, both he and Trump traveled to Ireland, but Pence stayed in a different place, okay? He stayed over 100 miles away from Dublin, which is where the event was taking place. So Senator Gary Peters, the ranking member of the Senate's Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, sent a letter to the Vice President asking for specific information about why this happened. Like, why did you stay there? Were you unable to find accommodations closer to Dublin? And you had your wife, your sister, and your mother with you. Did you happen to pay for them out of pocket, or did the US taxpayers pay for that? Now, here's another important part of the story. The property he stayed at was a Trump property.
Of course.
Yeah, in Doonbeg, Ireland. So there is, of course, worry that Donald Trump is finding ways to enrich himself, which he has been doing since the very beginning of his presidency. There's no question about it. So this story broke earlier in the week, but I think that now, given the fact that Donald Trump and Mike Pence have some drama going on, they have some conflict within the White House, it makes the story a little more juicy. So Peters told Pence in a letter that he was troubled by the apparent conflict of interest in your decision to stay at a property owned by President Trump, which creates the risk that taxpayer funds are being used to directly profit the president. Asked on Tuesday if the president asked Pence to stay at his property, the vice president's chief of staff, Marc Short, told reporters he did not think it was a request like a command, but rather a suggestion. Marc Short also said, it's like when we went through the trip, it's like, well, he's going to Doonbeg because that's where the Pence family is from. It's like, well, you should stay at my place. Now, Trump, of course, as always, is denying everything.
Of course.
And I wanna go to that video, let's take a look.
Your involvement in the vice president's plans to stay at a Trump property in Ireland?
Well, I had no involvement other than it's a great place. It's Doonbeg, I own it. It's in Ireland. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. And he had his family lives there, which is really amazing. Mike, his family has lived there for many decades. In fact, one of the first things he said to me is that he knew I had this terrific place in Doonbeg in Ireland. And he said to me, you know, my family lives in Doonbeg, meaning in that area, that certain area of, it's a beautiful area in Ireland. But from what I understood, he was going there. Then I heard he was going there, but I didn't, it wasn't my idea for Mike to go there. Mike went there because his family's there. That's my understanding of it.
You didn't suggest that he
No, I didn't, I don't suggest anything.
So,
poor guy doesn't suggest anything.
So Trump claims he didn't suggest anything. Then you have Pence's chief of staff, Marc Short, saying Trump suggested it, which Trump is not too happy about, and we'll get into that in just a second. And then immediately after, Pence releases a statement.
Can I guess? Groveling. Of course, the president is correct. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry. When do I get spanked?
He said, at no time did the president direct anyone to stay at the property.
Notice he used the word direct.
Yes.
He did not direct them. But like a mob boss, when he suggests that you stay at his property, probably wise to take him up on that suggestion.
Now I direct you to a Pence video and just pay close attention to how awkward it is and how uncomfortable Pence is when a reporter asks him about his stay. Take a look.
If you think about the bonds that exist between the Irish people and the American people, they have much to do with shared heritage, they have much to do with family. And that's why it was important for me, before our original trip plan, to at least spend one night in Doonbeg. And I understand political attacks by Democrats, but if you have a chance to get to Doonbeg, you'll find it's a fairly small place. And the opportunity to stay at Trump National in Doonbeg to accommodate the unique footprint that comes with our security detail and other personnel made it logical.
They say you're enriching the president. What's your response to that criticism?
It's wonderful to be back in Ireland. For many reasons, Ireland is so important to the United States of America as a trading partner.
Wow.
If you noticed, even in the first part of the answer, he said, in our original plans. Oh, so you had original plans in terms of where you were staying in Ireland, and you changed the plans to make sure you stayed at the Trump resort.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Of course. Look, the one part that is true, which is rare for Trump to say anything that has any truth in it, is that yes, Pence's great-grandmother is in Doonbeg, and his cousin runs a bar there, which sounds fun, okay? So I don't begrudge him going to Doonbeg, but he obviously changed his plans and made sure to stay at the Trump resort. And by the way, the money sent to the Trump resort is a problem. The bigger problem in terms of the amount of money spent by taxpayers is Air Force 2 flying back and forth across Ireland for no reason at all.
Exactly, yeah, so that's a huge problem. Now I wanna get back to Marc Short, because this is the juicy part of the story, and this is the kind of stuff I live for. So Marc Short actually used to work for Trump, but stepped down. So there's some dramas between Trump and Marc Short. Remember, Marc Short is Pence's chief of staff.
Yeah, I'm
so
shocked
good.
he still exists in the world.
No, I gotta give you, I wanna give you the timeline, it's important. So Trump actually named Short the Director of Legislative Affairs on January 4th, 2017. Short announced that he would leave the White House post in the summer of 2018 because of diminishing returns of pushing President Donald Trump's agenda. That is what he said publicly, okay? Ooh. On February 19th, 2019, Vice President Mike Pence then announced Short would be his next chief of staff.
Man, Pence playing with fire there. No wonder he had to go to Doonbeg to put it out.
Now remember, Marc Short is the one who spoke to the press and said that Donald Trump is the one who suggested that Pence stay at the Doonbeg property.
Oh my God, is Mike Pence the guy who wrote the New York Times editorial?
Maybe, I don't know, hold on, we'll get to that in just a second. And when Marc Short made that statement to the press, of course, Trump wasn't happy about it. In fact, Caitlin Collins reported on this, and I wanna show you what she had to say.
I'm told that the president was furious after he learned that Marc Short said that he had suggested it, essentially putting the credit for the president on why they picked that location to stay in this tiny town that we should know is less than 1,000 people. The president was so furious about it that third statement that Pam was talking about there came out about 3:30 in the morning in Ireland. Of course, not typically when most people are awake issuing statements on someone's behalf after Short has already spoken and the vice president has already appeared on camera over it.
That's some serious panic there. Okay, I love the drama, I do. So you know that Pence has conversations with Marc Short every day, like, is 25th Amendment yet? 25th Amendment yet? And like when they had the Sharpie incident, he's like, come on, Marc, we gotta go, right? Can I convene the cabinet? We all hate him, right? And we all know he's mental. And of course, if they did do the 25th Amendment and declare him mentally incompetent, which would be awesome and completely correct, then of course Pence would be president. So, oh my God, the betrayal would be so wonderful and delicious.
It would. Yeah, so look, it could be Mike Pence, the individual who wrote that cowardly anonymous New York Times column. It was cowardly, let's keep it real. It could have been Marc Short.
Yeah. There's no question that Marc Short is not happy with Donald Trump, but that speaks of almost every Republican in Washington. They all know, they all can't stand him. They all know he's an idiot. They know he has mental deficiencies, but they're so afraid of the Mad King, right?
Yep.
And so, but at least you got to give Marc Short a tiny bit of credit because every once in a while he just dings him a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
He just slices him a little bit and goes, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Look, I will confidently say I disagree with Marc Short on pretty much everything. But I mean, it does take at least a tiny bit of courage to step down from Trump's team and then literally get hired as the chief of staff for Mike Pence, knowing what kind of person Donald Trump is.
Yeah, I know, but it also takes a little bit of courage from Pence. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like, help me out here, figure out how to. I mean, you're not hiring Marc Short after he disses Trump and leaves him, unless you're making designs, unless you're making plans and rereading the 25th Amendment with your morning coffee every single day. On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store,
or at tyt.com/podcast.